I still recall the morning she left for that trip as if it happened yesterday. She had 3 suitcases packed for a 5-day getaway, each one crammed with outfits she'd been saving for a special occasion. She told me her friends would pick her up in an Uber, all laughs and oversized sunglasses. Even though dawn hadn't broken yet, I stood in the doorway with my coffee, watching her leave. She blew me a kiss. And for a fleeting moment I thought, this is trust. I had covered everything. The flights, the hotel, even the spa package she insisted on adding at the last minute. She called it a thank you trip for all my recent hard work. I believed her. We'd been married 7 years by then. Not perfect years but steady. I'd learned to read her silences. She'd learned how I liked my shirts folded. We had small routines. Tuesday night takeout, Friday morning coffee on the porch. She never gave me cause to doubt her. Or maybe I just didn't notice. Love can make you deliberately blind. The first 2 days she was gone, she sent updates. Photos with her friends at the beach. A selfie with a wide-brimmed hat by the pool. A boomerang of them clinking glasses over dinner. Every caption sprinkled with hearts and slightly off emojis. I liked each post, wrote something sweet, and returned to my work. By day 3, updates slowed. A text in the morning, a snapshot of her legs resting on a lounge chair in the afternoon. She said the Wi-Fi was spotty. I didn't think much of it. The night before she returned, she called from her hotel balcony. I could hear the ocean, faint music in the distance. She said she couldn't wait to see me, that she had a surprise. I imagined a little souvenir from the boardwalk, maybe a cheesy slogan t-shirt. I went to bed that night feeling lucky. When she walked through arrivals the next afternoon, she looked like she'd stepped from a magazine. Sun-kissed skin, hair falling in soft waves, that smile that always unraveled me. I hugged her, inhaled the scent of coconut lotion, and wished I could freeze the moment. But then I noticed it. Just above her blouse collar, partially hidden under her hair, darker than a shadow, rounded like a bruise. Froze. She caught my gaze, pushed her hair back like she'd just remembered something on the stove. "Oh," she said lightly. "Must be from my beach hat rubbing." But her voice had that practiced brightness I'd heard before, like the time she dented the car and blamed a parking lot. I didn't ask. Not yet. I unpacked her bags while she showered, hands brushing through her clothes as if expecting something hidden. Nothing. Just neatly folded dresses and a half-empty sunscreen bottle. That night in bed, I kept glancing at her neck. The fan hummed. She drifted off with one arm across my chest. I couldn't rest. I told myself there had to be an explanation. But explanations don't ease the tightening in your stomach or the looping images in your mind. Her tan faded within weeks, the mark vanished in days, but that knot in my chest remained. I replayed little moments, her sudden excitement for the trip, quiet phone calls at the end, that look in her eyes at the airport. Something had shifted. I hadn't confronted her. Not yet. I needed proof. So I watched. The way she lingered on her phone at night. The new perfume she wore when running errands. That lightness, as if she held a secret. Quietly, almost unintentionally, I started to plan. 2 weeks later, everything seemed normal. Polite conversations, routines intact. But beneath it, distance. She'd laugh at her phone, turn it away, and shrug when I asked. Just the girls. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But suspicion scratches the mind. I noticed patterns. Guarding her phone, longer errands, that faint glow like someone had made her feel seen. I wasn't innocent either. Work had consumed me. I'd let later replace time with her. Maybe the tan and the mark were consequences of my half-presence. That thought stung almost as much as the alternative. Then one Friday she mentioned a night out with Danielle. I offered a ride. She refused before I finished. That evening she returned with faint cologne, not mine. She noticed my look and silently went straight to the shower. The next morning I mentioned a solo weekend to clear my head. She smiled too sweetly and said, "Sure, you deserve it." I booked the trip, but it wasn't for me. It was for space. Space to let her think I was gone. Space to see what she did. My car stayed in long-term parking, but I remained in town. That evening, the private investigator I'd quietly hired texted, "She's not with Danielle." Photos followed, her at a restaurant, leaning across a table, laughing. The man touched her wrist. Her smile didn't falter. They went to a hotel. The PI said no more needed sending. Seen enough. Sunday night I returned. She greeted me as if nothing happened, asked about my trip. I said it was restful. I didn't mention the knot in my chest. Not that night. Not that week. I started calling my lawyer, accountant, and bank. If she had a secret, I was building my exit, one that wouldn't remain secret long. Patience, like her tan, was fading. Thursday evening, I decided the pretense was over. She lounged on the couch, wine in hand, phone scrolling, TV murmuring. I sat opposite her, legal pad in hand, weight of the weeks pressing down. "We need to talk," I said. Her eyes flicked up, wary, then softened into that careful smile meant to control. "About what?" I didn't shout. Didn't accuse. I told her I knew. About the dinner, the hotel, the man with the cologne. Warmth drained from her face. Denial faltered. She didn't confess, not directly. She blamed distance, my busyness. I didn't mean for it to happen. Words thrown into a river. Ripples that never reached me. I didn't argue. Didn't list the trips I paid for or the nights waiting. The decision had already been made. Maybe weeks, maybe months ago. "I've already spoken to a lawyer," I said calmly. Her hand froze mid-wine glass. "We'll make this clean. Fair. But it's over." She stared like I'd declared the world ending. Then, almost impossibly, she laughed. Small at first, then sharper, edged with triumph. "You think you're walking away like this?" "I'm not walking," I said softly. "I'm done chasing someone who doesn't want to be caught." The following weeks blurred. Signatures, asset divisions, silence. Her tan faded. Whatever thrill she chased had cooled or moved on. When we signed the final papers, she arrived in heels and a summer dress, sunglasses shielding her eyes. She didn't look at me, signed, slid the papers, and waited. That was it. 7 years condensed into a sheet of paper and a handshake. The marriage faded like her vacation glow. The divorce settled in my bones, unmovable. Unlike her tan, it wasn't going anywhere.